Right, cool. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Grapplers Academy. Back after a long time off. I'm glad to be back on the mats. And finally, we've got some technique for you again.
Definitely. Yeah, today we're going to be looking at the straight footlock, some finer details on that on the actual finish. So if you want to find entries, we can cover that in another video, but today we're just sort of looking at the finer details and actually getting the proper finish on the foot and the braking mechanics of the foot, rather than having it being a bit of a gnarly one on the Achilles and the calf. So we'll start off with a typical position where we end up in. So I've got Bond's foot, my shin on the inside here, and my foot's going to be securing over here. So this is sort of your very rudimental position to end up in. And you see a lot of people from here, they're going to clamp on and they're really extending here through the hips and really trying to rag on and putting a lot of pressure on the calf, but there's very little pressure going actually through the foot. And we want to put the braking mechanics over this part of the foot rather than trying to snap the shin bone and dig into the calf. This is the more sensitive area which we can actually cause damage to and get the tap. So what we're trying to do is get the toes on the top part of the shoulder, and we're trying to catch the heel underneath our arm. So when we're here, we're almost guillotining the foot from here. Now, I'm not going to stay up in this elbow, and I'm also not just going to sort of fall forward. I need to make sure that my elbow is hidden behind my back. And the way that I do this is I'm just going to hop back, hop back, hop back, and then I'm going to bring my shoulder forward. As you can see by Bond's adjustment there, a lot of pressure goes through the foot while we're doing this. So the ideal situation is my elbow is hidden behind my back and all my weight is sat onto Bond's foot. So once we're here, I'm trying to get my shoulder flat to the floor, and as a bit of a cue for this as well, I get my head and my nose down as well. Now while we're here, we're pinching the knees together, and all I've got to do to get the tap, the slow extension, driving the hips forward and applying the pressure to the actual foot rather than any pressure into the Achilles or on the calf. Because what we're doing here is when we bring the foot and the elbow behind us, the foot's rotating and rotating. Then when we put our weight forward and put our weight through, we're crushing the foot. And then once we get to here and we've got the shoulder on the floor, we start to hyperextend. We're taking all the tension away from the actual foot and the ligaments and the bones that are in there, and applying a lot of braking pressure to the small bones and the small ligaments in the area. So one more time, right, we all know, well, we're going to look at the more control points for this position, but the basics of it are, we're going to be having his knee above my thighs, so we're controlling the knee line, my knees are pinching together, and I've got the foot in a guillotine. The big toes are behind my shoulder, and once I've got this position, I'm going to bring my elbow back, and I'm back, and I'm trying to pull the elbow behind my hips. Once I'm here, I'm going to bring the shoulder down towards the floor, so all my weight, my rib cage is crushing the foot. Once I'm here, I'm going to pinch my knees together, drive my hips forward, head down towards the mat, and a slow hyperextension through the shoulders to get the braking mechanics onto the foot.
My foot popped then. I think that's why I stopped for a second on that. Just a nice small additional detail on top of that, what you were just talking about. I was lucky enough to go to a Dean Lister seminar a couple of years ago, and he was talking a very similar thing about tucking the toes and using the armpit to almost curl the toes back behind as well, rather than just trying to keep the foot straight. So that detail really helped me, and just to build on what Si was saying, using that armpit to kind of curl the toes back so that the foot's open and exposed before applying the pressure as well was something that helped me a lot on that. So,
yeah.
Similar sort of concept there.
Oh, definitely. So Dean Lister's where I got these details from, and I'm pretty sure we've all seen it. It's pretty common where someone's put the footlock onto you and you feel the pressure back of the calf or in the Achilles, or when you've learned the wrong finishing mechanics, you can be hanging off someone's foot and driving all the weight in, but because they've got a high pain threshold and there's no braking mechanics going through the foot, they're not tapping, so you kind of sat there going, where do we go next? So yeah, just adding these adjustments to actually take away the laxity and make sure you're putting the braking mechanics in the right place will increase the success rate when you taps.
Another good point on that as well is the basic mechanics of getting into a good position to finish a straight footlock with good braking mechanics is only a small percentage away from then what you need to do to make adjustments for heel hooks and other various leg locks as well. And the other plus side about learning the straight ankle locks first is that it's illegal early on for gi and no gi. So if you can get this down and then there's only small details to add in to get the finishes on the heel hooks, you're in a massive advantage for a start.
And make sure you hit that subscribe button, and there's a little bell next to the subscribe button. Hit that and change it to all, and you'll make sure you don't miss any of our videos as they're coming up. We're going to be doing more subs for the time being. Next week we're going to be Bond's going to be leading the submission. Make sure you hit us up on all the social medias at the Grapplers Academy, coached by Si, Bonafide PT, and head over to Spotify and Google Podcasts to listen to the podcast.